watching Iron Man, and I have a friend who told me it'd be a ride, but would I like where it goes? And I did. Definitely not the best comic book based movie ever, but still, of course, I'm not going to like mention the obvious, whereas Robert Downey Jr. excelled as Iron Man, as Tony Stark. We all know this. But what I did find surprising about the movie, in a positive way, is how fast it drew me into the story. I mean, Jon Favreau should like write a lesson plan or something to other directors of comic book based movies, how to direct the first 30 minutes of your movie in such a way that they don't either bore or they don't feel like the movie is being rushed for the benefit of the audience. It doesn't explain every little thing like its audience is retarded or something. It really draws you into the story immediately, and the pacing of the movie is great. The movie has a great sense of unity, has a great feeling. It feels so different from Spider-Man or X-Men or the X-Men movies or Fantastic Four. It feels completely different from all of the other comic-based movies that at least come from Marvel. I have no complaints towards action scenes or special effects. I do feel that, like Spider-Man, people making Iron Man haven't really figured out when to let Tony speak and how to let him speak. Just because we don't see their mouths doesn't mean that we don't want to hear them speak. I mean, the comic book is such a dialogue. Stories in comic books are largely based on lots and lots of explanatory dialogue and such. And one of the things that is missing from action scenes in Spider-Man and Iron Man is there is no dialogue, because I just have trouble believing that this amazingly verbally gifted character like Tony Stark suddenly, when he puts on that suit, becomes this monosyllabic silent warrior type. You can have him now. I also feel that at certain points throughout the movie, Tony Stark's voice sounded different. Iron Man's voice sounded different when Tony was starting to speak to the outside world through the suit. Either he sounded like plain old Tony, or his voice was a little distorted, but I don't think they quite figured it out how to make that sound effect yet. But I don't think it should be that hard. Really, we've had those voice distorting thingies for a while now, so what's the big deal of making his voice sound a bit more electronic? Now, one of the scenes that really pissed me off, this is just nitpicking, mind you, but this scene pissed me off, is the scene where Iron Man is flying and he's followed by those jets, and he's on the phone with Rhodes, and Rhodes is like standing next to the guy who's prepared to kill Iron Man, and he's talking on the phone with Tony Stark, and I'm like, could you just like move a little bit in the back where nobody can hear you? You're standing next to the guy who wants to kill him, and you're on the phone with him. It's a little on the nose. My main problem with this movie is Gwyneth Paltrow. Gwyneth Paltrow, I liked her in the beginning as Pepper Potts. I thought she had a pretty good rapport with Robert Downey Jr., but in the last half of the movie, she was like, ooh, I'm in an action movie. Oh, look at me. I'm in a tube skirt and with these high heel sandals, but I'm in an action movie. Oh, big scary robot. Gwyneth Paltrow should not be in an action movie, okay? She should, or at least if you are going to have her in an action movie, don't put her into an action scene. Don't give her anything to do that has to do with big giant robots and explosions and such. Just have her be the witty do-it-all secretary. Just don't, okay, maybe send her to get some info or download some files or something. I think she can work a memory disk, but anything that has to do with robots and giant explosions, So thank you, Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. for making a movie that did not bore me in the least, but in fact entertained me. And most of all, just thank you for a movie that manages to be different while sticking to some very simple rules regarding storytelling and action and character development, because really, simpler is always better.